When you think of iconic things from Star Wars, Revan's mask for many of us is up there alongside things such as Darth Vader and Boba Fett's helmet. It's become symbolic for a character that is deeply ingrained in our storytelling and gaming histories, and in my opinion was the basis of the inspiration for what would become Kylo Ren's helmet design. But Revan's mask didn't come from nowhere. It has a deeply personal and profound meaning to the character himself, and its discovery was arguably the catalyst for the Mandalorian downfall during the Mandalorian Wars. Revan's mask held almost every symbolic position it could have within Revan's lifetime. Originally, its existence was to spread the fear of oncoming Mandalorian onslaughts. Then, it instead became the rallying cry for all the Jedi who were held back by the Jedi Order, and the beacon of hope in turning the tides of war for the Republic. And finally, it became the symbol of unfathomable power and destruction as it led the Sith Empire's brutal uprising. The mask cemented itself as an item of power throughout history, in its ability to rally entire factions through both hope and fear. Originally, it belonged to a Mandalorian woman who wore the mask during the early stages of the Mandalorian Wars as a Neo-Crusader under the leadership of Cassius Fett and Mandalore the Ultimate. It held no real significance other than to protect her in battle and strike fear during conflict, but this soon changed at the end of the bloody Battle of Cathar. As the battle came to an end, the Mandalorians gave the order to commit mass genocide on the Cathar species. The woman, however, pleaded against her allies and begged for them to stop. She alone, one woman, broke rank and stood between the entire Mandalorian army and the defenseless Cathar people who had been herded into the sea. But despite the Mandalorians respecting her bravery, she herself became nothing more than another body in the ocean alongside the Cathar people. But to Revan, this woman would become everything he needed. She was hope. 10 years later, after the massacre, a young Revan led an expedition to Cathar to discover irrefutable proof of the Mandalorian atrocities, to rally the Jedi into aiding the Republic, but he wasn't fully prepared for what he would find. As Rook Lamar of the Jedi Council tried to convince the Jedi Crusaders to give up and return to the Order, Revan stood on the beach and noticed the helmet washed up beneath his foot in the wet sand. He picked it up and brushed it off, and as light shone upon it, a mass vision of the Cathar genocide engulfed all of the Jedi present. It was so real and vivid, they ignited their lightsabers in defense of the Cathar people, following them into the water where they were buried. They then watched as the spectral Mandalorian woman jumped out from her ranks and stood tall to protect the helpless, but despite their efforts to protect her, they witnessed the genocide firsthand as she burned with the remaining Cathar in the ocean. As the vision began to fade, Revan looked upon the mask, shocked, seeing, feeling and understanding the woman's plight. Both enraged and inspired, he placed the mask upon his own face, vowing never to remove it until he avenged the Cathar people, and like the woman in the vision, stand between the innocent and the Mandalorian war criminals, finishing what she started. He then ignited his lightsaber and raised it to the air, denouncing his true name and taking up the mantle of Revan. From this point forward, he wore the mask always until his end. Without the mask, Revan was just a man, like everybody else, with all the weakness and vulnerabilities that applied. With this mask, however, Revan became an icon to the Republic, and the Jedi who wanted to protect it, a symbol. He was the shaper of history, an individual defined by his actions rather than his thoughts, feelings or beliefs. However, the story of the Mandalorian woman was only known to Revan and the few Jedi who witnessed her heroism, and as the Prodigal Knight went on to become a galactic legend whose impact was felt for millennia, a nameless woman with boundless courage was the spark that ignited Revan's unrivaled ferocity, and she is a testament to those whose names and whose stories are buried and forgotten. I hope you enjoyed the video, and perhaps consider subscribing and turning on notifications if you want to be notified of the next episode in this series coming soon. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed it, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel further, and please, come and join my Discord server. I'd love to have you there. All the links are in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, may the Force be with you. Always.
you.